Hello everyone, welcome to Dulcie's Creations. My name is Dulcie. Thank you for joining me once again in a new project. Thank you to all you wonderful subscribers for coming back and following me. If you're new, please do like, subscribe, press on that bell so you're notified of all the new and upcoming projects. And thank you for joining me. Please do all enjoy the project. I've been inspired the last couple of days. I keep getting these ideas in my head. Now this one I've had I think since December, but it was only the other day when I saw a post on Facebook that I actually found out what it was called. Now this particular was on an egg and it was inlaid. I'm not going to do an inlay, but I want to do a sort of a picture or something. Anyway, so because it's an experiment and I do not know how it's going to turn out, I didn't want to use one of my big boxes. So I ordered this little one. Now I've never had little boxes. It's 20 centimeters, almost 15, and it is 10 centimeters in depth. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is what I love about this type of boxes, is that you can remove the little screws. It is absolutely brilliant because it allows you to paint it all properly and none of the hardware gets damaged or anything like that. So that's what I want to do first, is remove all these little screws, remove the hardware, and then start the painting. I'm going to paint it in black. And at first I'm just going to give it a coat of black, Mars black acrylic paint. I don't even have matte paint, to be honest, so, but then again it's not too glossy, the Mars black. But yeah, that's what I'm going to use at first. I think my head thinks I'm a lot more creative than I am sometimes, but this morning I woke up with another idea in my head and I had to quickly jump out of bed and go and write it down and scribble it down, because I know I would have forgotten. So I've started that project already. Like I say, I've been inspired. I have been so inspired, and I'm not even sure where all this inspiration is coming from, but it doesn't matter. I am enjoying it. Okay, so there you go. We've got both parts. Now what I wanted to show you is I ordered some of these. This is all abalone shell, and it's just, this one is shavings, as you can see it, very fine little bits. Here you go, lovely little bits. And then in this one it's just little circles. Here you go, aren't they just so beautiful? Love the colors of it, just stunning. Let's do this. Let's start with painting this. So I have some Amsterdam black that we're going to use. Because I'm working on several projects today, just in between lots of little ones and waiting for them to dry here and there, I'm using the wax paper at the bottom. And as you can see, this wax paper has been used over and over and over again. Now what I will do is, obviously I'll give this the first coat, and then I will sand it down and then give it another coat and see how that is. If need be, I'll sand it down again and give it a third coat. I just want it to look perfect, almost like a mirror black type thing. I haven't quite decided if at the end I'm going to varnish it or put a coat of clear resin over it. I will see how it all goes and how it looks at the end. Like I say, of course this is a project. It's an idea. I do not know how it's going to turn out. One of those, as I go along, the next step will formulate on its own. And yeah, and I will be doing the inside too. I painted in black. It's not what I usually do. I mean, if you've been following my channel, you know I do a lot of decoupage boxes, and I've done pours on boxes. So this is definitely not what I do with my boxes. This is totally new, but I am really excited to try this. I really am. I will give you more of an idea. Basically what I want to do is, at the top I want to create a design with those bits of abalone shells. My first thought was to make it some flowers with a butterfly or birds, and obviously use the shells to lay that out. So that is my idea, and this is why I want it all in black, because I want the design to pop out. Okay, so I used transfer paper. So I had the drawing. I got the drawing, printed it out what I wanted. There it is. Put this transfer paper on and then just outlined it. Now I wasn't sure if my little saw drill that I have that I cut my eggs would work. So I took, well it did, but it was getting very hot. So I've took out my Dremel and I've started doing this, but I realized that as I'm getting towards, you know, doing them all, nothing's on video. So I thought I would do at least one on video with you guys. The rest I'll do off because it is very, very noisy. So I'll do a little bit with you guys. Basically right now all I'm doing is outlining the flower because it's easier with this thin bit. I was using this to carve it out. Now these are just cheap bits that I have from eBay that I'm using, so they do get blunt pretty fast, but that's all right. So I'll do a little bit with you guys and then you can just see the process while I'm outlining, and then I will do a bit of the taking it out, because if you look there I just did that bit because it was so thin, but like those three are done and the middles of the flowers are also done. Okay, so now the best place to have worked with this would have been where I usually cut my eggs, because then I have that section. But because I have a resin project in there, I can't exactly work in there. So I'm working here. I'm trying to keep the dust to as minimal as possible. Now that I have shared what I'm doing and how I'm doing it all, I will carry on. Okay, so this box is coming along, and what I decided to do is put very fine glitter in the background, because when I put the shells in, there's always little bits that are going to be left. So I thought if I put the very fine glitter, let me try and bring you closer so you can actually see. You go. Yeah, you can see that. So that way, if you look here, now what I've also done is I've decided that instead of big pieces of shell like I had the other day where I showed you when I started, I've sort of crushed them, but not into a fine powder, just crushed them into little bits like that. And that's where you can see over here where I have actually just filled it in. In the middle here I've used bigger pieces, these. I think that will look nice just there. So I'm going to start, I'm going to start filling this in with the crushed shells just there. I'm just debating what I'm going to glue this down. Now I'm thinking I'm going to probably mix some resin and then with a pipette just put the resin in. I think that will probably work the best. This is all that fine glitter, it gets everywhere. But yeah, that's what I am doing now. Okay, so I've done almost all of it, and what I decided to do is to use some super glue. So I've gone around and I've done all that's left is this one flower here. This is basically how I've been doing it. Let's see if, yeah, here on camera. Dropping the glue, going around. Now, I can't come back on myself because it lifts the shell. So, oops, see, that's what happens. But I'll go now in with the toothpick, you'll see, and just lay everything down. As long as there's enough glue to cover it all, which I think there is now. We'll let it dry and come back to it. While the lights are actually shining here, I wanted you to see how beautiful it actually, you know, all the colors of the shell, how beautiful it shines. Now I have filled it all up, still debating about the resin, but I think that is probably going to be the best solution, the best way to do this. I'm just going to finish doing this little bit here and then stand back and actually see if this looks alright. Looks like the flowers and the stem, and if I need to fix anything. Sorry, I realize that there's a lot of shine, but I did just want you to see the colors, and when I switched on the light, I realized I could see how beautiful the shine was, but couldn't really when the light was away from it. I finished the flower, as you can see. It's all stuck down. I've also sanded it a little bit. And now what I decided to do, because I was going to do the resin, because I'm going to put a coat of resin over this, I've decided to put some of these in the corner. Well, in all four corners. There you go. I've done them all. I'm just painting them because, as you can see, they're a little bit big. I'm going to paint them, let it dry, and then what I'm going to use is I'm actually going to use this epoxy, the 5-minute epoxy glue 2-part, and I'm going to put a little bit of black paint into it and then fill it up and put the little, they also abalone shell, and put that in there. Then at least it will be complete. I think it will look really, really good. So I want to, like I say, give this a nice, just a little coat of resin, you know, just a little bit over the top, so that it protects the shell, and I think it's just going to finish it off. We will do this and then come back. But I think it's looking really, really good. Even though I've tried to switch off all the lights, there's still that one. There's always that one. So there you go. I don't know if you can really see the shine on it. It is very pretty. So it is the first time I've ever mixed paint with this epoxy glue. I actually thought it might even work and it wouldn't dry, but clearly that threw that thought right out the door, because it worked really well actually. Dried far too fast, but there you go. I think that looks very pretty. So I'm going to give, I mean, even though we know that it is literally dry, I am going to give it an hour or so before I put any resin on it, just so that it's properly dry and there's no effect. And there are 2 projects I need to resin, so I'll do them together. Everything else is done. Once I've put the resin on, all I will do then is, for one, the inside. I have also painted it, except that part, which I'm going to put some paper in. And the box is also completely done. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It needs a coat of varnish. And the inside I've also done. Just left that bottom part, and I'll also put some paper in there. Okay, so this is all dried, and I have done my resin. Cleaning this because there's a little bit of sparkly from the other project. And here we go. So this one is also dry, but unfortunately, because I didn't tape the bottom of it, there was a whole lot of resin. You can still see a little bit there. So now I've scraped as much as I could off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it all down, and then I'm going to tape it, and I'm going to put just another coat of resin on here, because as I've pressed it on the table to take all the extra bits off, this is, if I bring this in closer, that's as much as I've taken off the back. So unfortunately it has left a few dents in the top, but I do love it. I love how good it looks. You can see everything in it. I just absolutely love how it turned out, considering I've never done an inlay of this sort, of any sort. I'm trying to give you as much as this as I can without any... Yeah, it's not going to happen. You're just going to see everything that shines on it. Anyway, so if I just do this also, you can see how those corner bits turned out. It just looks... I just absolutely love it. Here you go. And you can see how the seashells actually shine. Can you see that there? It's just beautiful. But I think the next time you'll see it, the box will be put together, and I will show you how it all looks. The box actually, or the bottom part of it, here it is. The outside is totally varnished, so it looks beautiful. It is absolutely complete. All I'm going to do is now give just some varnish on there and on the sides, and then glue the paper down on the bottom, and then it's ready for the top. But I have to say, this box is absolutely magnificent. I absolutely am in love with it. My box is finished. Now this has taken me a while, because when I thought I was finished, I realized that the lid was the other way around. So I had to take off all the hardware and repaint and revarnish, and anyway, it is finished, as you can see. There you go. The shells are just so beautiful. I love how it's turned out. Now I have my Dremel here because I wanted to show you. I bought some of these, I don't know, shiny polish things for my Dremel. And as you can see, this one's been used quite a bit. And I got some of this plastic and acrylic polishing compound, yeah. And that's how I got the lid to come to this shine, because just after it had sort of dried, I did put my hands on it. Even though it wasn't dented in, the fingerprints were definitely there, and I didn't want to pour again. I've polished it, and I love the way it has turned out. To be honest, I am in love with this box. There's the fronts and the sides. As you can see, it's all to a high shine. I gave it a few coats of the black and then a few coats of the resin. Even the box, the bottom is done. Just give that a wipe. And now the inside. Here you go. There's the inside. So also all black, and then I've just put some paper both on the lid and at the bottom. But I just love how well it has turned out. Because I'd never done anything like this, I wasn't sure whether it was going to work, whether I could do it or not, but I'm impressed. I will do another one eventually. Come up with a design first to do one, but there you go, a little black box. Remember to stay to the very end, where you will see a video, the one I generally will post on YouTube, not YouTube, on Facebook. I always do that mistake. And where it will be on a rotating table, and then you can just see it all the way around all at once. So do remember to stay to the very end. I want to thank you all so very much for being here with me. If you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed this project, please do consider liking, subscribing, maybe even sharing. But above all, to everyone, whether you're a subscriber or not, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of a project, what you thought of it. how it turned out. Let me know your thoughts. So thank you once again for being here with me on this journey, and wherever in the world you are, please remember, stay safe, stay well, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.